I'm gonna be honest, guys, this is not the video I thought I'd be making tonight. I brought all this equipment here to talk about a potential announcement that I thought was happening due to many rumors behind the scenes, but it did not. So I'm still excited about the future of the game with RLCS announcing the new 2v2 RLCS and a lot of other things. I just got back home from the event, and needless to say, people are very upset, and I am as well, very disappointed. I think this was the moment for Rocket League to really start its turning point back. There's still a lot of exciting things that came out of this event. But definitely people were looking forward to some sort of big announcement for the future of the game. They announced Season 20, and in-house they announced Season 21 as well. So if that tells you anything, they are trying to look a little further ahead, maybe in preparation for something, I don't know. I'm gonna stop taking these rumors as word of mouth as fact, even though I've had multiple sources, very credible sources, tell me that certain things were supposed to be coming. So that's where all of my positivity and hype have been coming from. And I apologize to anybody who else was hopeful for this event to sort of show something more. I mean, the 4v4 bigger arena thing is really cool. I think that there's definitely some really cool, innovative things that we can do with that mode in the future once it's out. But I don't know. People were definitely hoping for something bigger. I think they definitely missed the mark a little bit because announcing all of the new RLCS stuff for 2026 is awesome. We were even hearing from people in the venue that this was going to be the biggest announcement they've ever had, but they've had a very similar announcement in the past where they talked about RLCS 1v1 coming out. So I think to say that, and then also, you know, hear other people say they cried once they heard what was coming, which I guess was the Paris Stadium LAN, which is very cool. I think it is cool that we now have a major with gigantic amount of seating, 25,000 I think they have planned for the event, if that means anything. So I am excited for the future of RLCS, but as far as the future of the game, the 4v4 stuff, it doesn't sound to me like many people are as excited about that because it's not the competitive mode that RLCS is really centered around right now, at least. I don't know if it's the plan for Rocket League to turn it into 4v4 for RLCS. But these events have always been like the moment to talk about the future roadmap for other esports as well. It's always the moment to sort of talk about that stuff. But yeah, I wanted to recap kind of what happened throughout the weekend about the RLCS announcements and also the new season that's coming up. The fact that I'm a community spotlight for next season. It's a hard position for me to be in because I've always been critical of Rocket League when they don't do things, even though there's many people on Twitter who would say otherwise. I always want to look at the positive side of things, and I know that from a game development standpoint, I know things take a long time. Epic Games' problem has always been the fact that they take forever to communicate anything. I mean, I know that for the last about 8 to 9 months, I know specific developers from Rocket League, Psionics, that have been working against DDoS attacks, and they didn't announce any attempt or workaround that they've been working on publicly for, I think, 6 months into the problem. And we had multiple big creators who were very vocal about it, including myself. I mean, I tried to avoid talking about it as much as possible. There was multiple recordings where I just had to scrap it because, you know, I don't want to just beat a dead horse about it. And, you know, Rocket League, I know they're working on things like they would work on some fix and then the DDoSers would come through with another exploit. I mean, I don't need to get into the DDoS stuff. It's a whole issue and they're constantly fighting that behind the scenes. There's also a method that is a problem in all video games that is very difficult to tackle, and so they're working on that fix. There's many programmers in the space who have also talked about ways to mitigate it, and trust me, they've seen it and they're working on ways to help it. UE3 is a hard engine to work with, and so it would be hard for me to say that UE5 is not happening at some point. I'm sure they're working on it. Like I said, I've gotten rumors for years now that they've been working on it, but I don't want to take anything as fact anymore because being told that UE5 was going to happen at Worlds here and then doesn't happen is pretty upsetting to me because I don't feel like I've been lied to, for example, but I just feel like I can't trust information that I'm hearing, and then also, you know, sort of bring that out to you guys with a positive outlook when it's on information that I don't know to be actually true, because I really thought it was concrete evidence that it was going to happen at this event, and it didn't. But either way, there were some good things that came out of this. I really enjoyed the event, so did my wife. I think it was a lot of fun. The France crowd was insane, and I can see why we're going to be doing another France LAN next year. It was the best crowd we've ever had for RLCS ever, period. It was an incredible venue. So many cool things came out of it. Really good storylines. Unfortunately, Karmine Corp couldn't show the crowd a grand final win that they may have wanted, but it was also cool that they were still cheering in the crowd for Energy. There was definitely a lot of booing, and there were some complaints online too, and I saw it that they were booing during interviews, and I think that there was definitely a time and place for booing, and it's fun to have the team you're rooting for and rooting against. But when it comes to the actual interviews and celebrating the players, give them their moment. And it seemed like on Championship Sunday, they definitely improved that. They started, actually cheering for the team that won, even if it wasn't the team they expected or hoped that would win. For example, GK versus Energy. I mean, GK was the only European team left in that semis, and even though they lost, they still cheered for Energy at the end. So that was cool to see. Also, sorry for the mic quality if it's bad. I tried getting as good of a setup here as possible. These lights are actually just not even studio lights. They're just hotel lights that are pointed in a certain direction. Anyway, yeah, the venue was cool. There was a lot of developers there that were there to watch this RLCS, which made me hopeful that there was something more coming. I even said to some of the developers that this was the moment for Rocket League, and a lot of public people in the space thought this was the turning point. Like it was do or die for Rocket League. I don't think that Rocket League's actually going to die. It is, I think, like 6th or 7th on the list of most played game in the world. And apparently the Rocket League Garage numbers don't even tell the full story. So that's really cool to hear from Rocket League directly. There's a lot of things I can't talk about. I mean, I got to meet the product lead for the new product lead for Rocket League, who's only been on the team for about 2 to 3 months. And he seems really receptive to feedback and everything. So he's talked to many people in the scene about what we want to see in the game and what we think the community wants to see, even with the 4v4 stuff. And I'm not under NDA. I'm not paid to say any of this. I haven't been paid by Rocket League for a very long time. Even the community spotlight is not something that's paid. It's just an opportunity to show me in a light in the game, which is an honor. I really appreciate that they want to showcase me as a creator in the space. And the cartographer title is something that I think I've talked about. Diehard fans that have watched my channel for a long time, they've probably heard me say that word at some point. It's just such a good pun to say, cartographer. It's cars, and cartography is the art of making maps, and it's something I've wanted for a long time. And so the fact that I get to get a glowing title, and there's a lot of map makers in the space that would love to wear the cartographer title as well, and I hope that you guys would like to wear it as well to show your support. I may not see a lot of you in ranked, but if I do casual modes, or if we even do like in-house viewer games and stuff, I want to do more content this year focused around like interacting with you guys. And we have the Discord where we do videos and have you guys involved here and there, but I like to do more of it because I think it is like some of the most entertaining and fun content for me, getting to interact with you guys like more intimately, and always going to these lands. I think the France land I was not noticed as much, which is kind of nice actually, to just be able to walk around the space and not get stopped every moment. Not that I hate it, it's just it's a different experience. It's sort of like selective fame a little bit. There were definitely some people that came up to me and said hi, and it was nice to have like real long conversations with people that came up to me. But anyway, I just wanted to like kind of rant a little bit today, because for the longest time I've been sort of sitting on this moment, and to feel like it not was ripped away from me, but just sort of like I've been like anticipating it. My anxiety throughout the weekend was insanely high, because I think coming into this LAN, I was like 95% sure something was going to be announced about the future of Rocket League beyond Season 20. And then as I got to speaking to some people, even people within the talent, I'm not gonna say who, my confidence started to drop a little bit. And then I also heard that someone else from a well-respected agency within the scene was also sure that there was gonna be announcements. So then my assurance of it being an announcement was back up again. It just kept doing that. And I feel like me and my wife were on this whiplash of not being sure what to expect from the event. Where I'm not going to say I didn't get to enjoy it, but I definitely felt like I was just on edge the whole time on what was going to happen, because for the longest time I've been creatively not burnt out, but just it's been tough to make creative content like every day, and I do enjoy it. It's just I feel like I've done everything. And I feel like map makers are also feeling that. Like a lot of us in the custom map making scene have just felt like we've done every idea possible, but we do seem to just come up with something new anyway. It's been a struggle lately to come up with as many ideas, and I have a notepad of just constant ideas that I want to run through. But with UE5, like in the future, if it does come and there's a map maker or a map editor or something, I think it would just be nice to be able to refresh a lot of those old ideas that could be like ironed out a lot better. And from what I've learned from making those game modes and things like that, I could make it even better with those same kind of ideas, but reintroduced and reimagined into the new space. I think it's only natural. UE5 is such an old program now that it's inevitable that this has to move on at some point, because there's just no more support for the engine. Like, there's not many games in today's modern age of gaming that is still on UE3. It is such an old and I'm gonna say like it's archaeological program at this point. And we definitely had a lot of workarounds in UE3 on how we do map making that has taken years for us to get there, because the version we use is not the same that Rocket League actually uses. They basically cracked their own version of UE3 to make their Rocket League maps and everything possible. So I don't know. I'm excited for the future still. I want to remain positive. There's definitely a lot of people, like I said on Twitter, that call me a clown because I'm like, I guess like hopelessly positive about the game. I think that it still performs very well, and Rocket League, like Epic Games, knows what they're doing behind the scenes. I think that they could do a little bit of improvement on the communication side of things. It's always been a problem. And things like this, like the season, it was so cool to see season 20 be announced on the Saturday, and then think, okay, there's got to be something even bigger happening on the Sunday. The RLCS announcements were really cool. It's that we now have 1s, 2s, and 3s in RLCS. I'm not sure how that complicates things, because I think we're gonna have a lot of issues with like team orgs where players are 2/3 of their team are doing the 2v2, and then there's the third who I don't know does the 1v1 on their own, or is it gonna be like everyone does ones? Like, I have no idea. Like, are we gonna have mix-ups of orgs with teams where it's like maybe like Beast Mode and Daniel do 2s, and then Atomic teams up for 2s with somebody else in North America, and then now it's 2 orgs sort of representing one team, or 1 org representing 2 teams, or 1.5 teams. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now there's 6 days at Worlds, so I'm assuming 1v1 and 2v2 sort of grand finals or semis and grand finals are going to be on the one day, or maybe there's 4 days for the main RLCS and then 2 days for 1s and 2s to be like a bracket of their own. No idea. They haven't really broken down anything. Maybe there is a blog out now. I haven't even checked because I'm just like ready to record this thing to go out the next day. I don't know. I just wanted to rant a little bit about how I felt about the whole weekend. I think it was a really good event, and I am glad that we came. But it's a bit bittersweet, I will say that. My videos won't be stopping, obviously. I'm still very much motivated to keep going with this game. There were a couple times throughout the last couple years where I'm like, when does this train end? I don't know. I don't really know what the future looks like for me in this game or in like the creative space. I will say that my 20s felt like they kind of just went by, because I've kind of been on a non-stop grind with this game, and not to say that I wasn't rewarded with that grind, because it's been, you know, very rewarding either like financially or through like, you know, the people that I've met or you guys watching and supporting me the whole time. So I do appreciate that you guys have stuck around for so long. Obviously, my content is very different and unique to other creators in this space. I've tried to talk to a lot of the creators about map making and try to introduce them to that space in the game, because I think it's still very much untapped for a lot of creators. You're seeing people like Musty and West do their Impossible Goal or Kilometers Per Hour series, like those things. The KPH series is really great. The Impossible Goal is a very simple idea on paper, but like the execution, there's so many things you can do with it, and it's not something that's like that difficult to make. And I think Simple Shark actually made that map for them, and it's been great for their channels. I think it's like a very easy proof of concept that these other channels who haven't used custom content in the past can very much integrate it with their regular content. And I think that that's the big issue with Rocket League, is for people, they feel like creatively there's not a lot to do in this game, but I feel like there's a lot to do in this game. Like if you think about Call of Duty, like Warzone, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do with the game creatively. Like there's always the interactions and the communication and all that stuff. But that's possible in Rocket League too, even though no one uses the in-game comms because of how long it took for them to put it back into the game with a revamped system. But there's still so much to do with this game. I really truly feel like Rocket League is like the perfect sandbox game. and there's so much potential with it, even with like Rocket League development directly. Getting to meet the new head of development for Rocket League this weekend was also a highlight for me. It's really cool to hear that they're more receptive of, ideas outside of their own internal team. So hopefully they take some of it to heart. I've definitely taken a lot of I have a list somewhere on my phone where it's all the ideas that I've seen that have been really good ideas for, that could be easily put into the main game with very little friction. But whether or not any of those get implemented, who knows? I just hope there's an open line of communication there in the future moving forward. And I'm very excited about the Paris land. I think that having that big of a stadium for a major is promising for what Epic Games expects moving forward. There were even executives that were at the Fortnite land the week before for the Fortnite event in Lyon here that were like, wow, the energy here is insane to see the fans like in person and how they're reacting to the Fortnite event. It kind of opened their eyes to the space because there's a lot of disconnects, right? Like Tim Sweeney, the CEO, everyone complains about him, but I don't think he's ever really directly dealt with Rocket League at a development level or anything. So it's funny to see people complain about that. He actually went to one of the lands recently and signed the Octane before it was painted, the Project Octane. He didn't even know what the car was. So I think that's very clear that he deals with a lot of illegal stuff with the company and overhead. And then there's like a level below that, the executives that now are seeing Rocket League and Fortnite in their natural habitat in the fan space and noticing how influential it can be and how massive it can be for the game. Because really, an esport for a video game should be tied directly to the game itself. It is the biggest way you can advertise a video game ever. So if there's any moment to say something about the game and the future of it, it is at these events, which is why I was so hopeful. I mean, the 4v4 stuff, like I said, Season 20 is looking really cool. I think that there are a lot of people that are hating on it because it's not UE5. I think Rocket League is in a tough spot ever since that leak or mention of it like 4 years ago came out. Because if it's not UE5, people are upset. Unless it's UE5, there's no happiness on the side of like the public perception, which is a tough spot for a company to be in. Like I said, I think that just the communication, especially if it is around the corner, this was the time to say it, even if it is months away. I think companies are so afraid to allow the space between the hype and the actual release. I mean, we've seen it work. GTA 6 is one of the most anticipated games. They released a trailer way before the game is coming out, and it's still talked about to this day. It's not like it's going to go away. So let people stir about it. Let people know that it's in the works. Like the only message we've had is from Devin Connors four and a half years ago, whatever it was, that it is in the works and something that they're working towards, like some sort of roadmap or some sort of mention, like where we're at, like we're like 80% done, we're still working on it like really hard. And that's why, and it would explain to the public, because there's no real concrete evidence that UE5 exists for Rocket League in the future. And so I think that's where a lot of the gripes come at the public side, where it's like the players who are diehard fans of this game want to see it do well, and just time and time again have not seen the respect we think it deserves from the public side of Epic Games and Rocket League on, Twitter accounts or whatever, in-game, any announcements like that. It just seemed like a neglected child, which is fair. I think it's fair to say that. And that goes without saying that there are a lot of developers within the Rocket League team that are amazing to work with or talk to, and they want to see this game succeed just like we do. And I'm sure that a lot of them are hopeful, or, they would hope that the team Epic Games gets the confirmation to be able to say more things. Like there's plenty of people that I've spoken to that are like, we wish we could say more. Like even the DDoS stuff, where there's a lot of red tape and legal issues before they are allowed to like actually mention that they're working on it, even though behind the scenes it's been half a year of them working on it. My biggest gripe with like public perception is that game development takes a long time. Just from map making and turning those around in the most scuffed ways that we do it, it takes a long time. And so I'm a little more understanding of why things take so long. I think it's just like, I still, even with the knowledge that I have, would like the communication to be better. It's always been a problem for Epic Games. They like to be secretive, even at the detriment of their PR, because right now Rocket League is not in a good space, at least on the social media side. Especially after this event. If you look at the Twitch chat of the end of the broadcast for RLCS World Championships, it's just UE5 ? UE5. More announcements. People are just, that's the only thing they care about. And that's the only thing I really care about too. Like I'm excited about the 4v4, and I really do want to test it out and really like, put it like give it a good try and see how I feel about it and see what the rest of the community feels about it. I'm hoping to run more tournaments, like maybe even weekly tournaments about 4v4 and see if like we can competitively see if it's viable. They've obviously been testing it in-house for a long time. Like I heard about 4v4 a long time ago, and I knew that it was a thing for about a year at least, and I thought it was a good idea. It's just I don't know why it's not mentioned earlier and why it's not been like, you know, like let the people test it before putting out this. I guess this is the test publicly now, because there's always like they're always prone to changes. Like they could change the boost layout if people are like, why is there not more boost on the walls, or why is there not more boost on the floor, or why is the goal this wide, why is it not wider, or why is it this not taller and stuff like that. Like I hope that we can get to a point in Rocket League similar to Fortnite, where when you play something in Fortnite, the game sometimes asks you like, what did you think of that mode? Did you like that mode? Would you like to see more of that? And I hope that they can do more things like that in Rocket League, where it's like, what did you think of 4v4? What did you think of this beach ball mode? What did you think of the Sonic mode? Did you like this? What parts did you like? What parts did you not like? Let me like type up a response and we'll read through some of it. Because I think that people just want to feel heard in the space. And so far it's been like, you know, a lot of silence from the company as far as like development. And I will say they are working hard on things. I know that for a fact. And these 4v4, I think, is a really cool opportunity to test something new. It's the first playlist we've seen added to the game in ranked in like 7 years. I said that in a short recently. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that's what I'm going to be focusing on for a little bit. And then also maybe grinding for the 2v2 RLCS, like try the new mode for RLCS, even though 2v2 is like the most played thing in the game. And that's the big thing for Rocket League developers too, is that they come up with a new mode and then people try it for like a couple days. And it's a lot of work for them to develop that, especially on the old engine. And then most people just kind of toss it aside after it comes out for a week. And they have the data for that. They know that 2v2 is the most played thing. I think it's like 80 to 90% of their like playtime in the game is 2v2. Like people just grind it like crazy. So I don't know. It's a hard position for the game to be in, where they have to develop something just to expect it to fail. So this 4v4 test, I hope people do give it an honest try and see if it's like something that they would like to enjoy more often. I want to definitely give it a good go and try to grind the leaderboards. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's something new and refreshing. So I think Chaos obviously has proven that it's not good on the original map size. So hopefully the new size map and the layout and everything is good for that. I'm sure they've tested it and it feels good. But the thing is, unless they bring in like a lot of pro players and high level players, it's not very clear if it's going to work or not. Like even the game modes that they've done before, they did have pro players try it in Raleigh. I heard rumors of that. So people did try it. I heard there was mixed reviews on how they felt about it. So whether or not it becomes an RLCS mode in the future, or if it becomes the mainstay RLCS mode, who knows? It's a lot of logistical, I'll say, obstacles or hurdles to go through if it was to switch, because one, orgs will have to pay another player, and already financially orgs are struggling in this game to support their players, which is why we only have like 5 or 6 North American I think orgs right now, and most bubble teams are just not getting any support. Meanwhile, in the open era of the game when it started, we had like bubble teams upon bubble teams getting sponsors and orgs. So it's definitely a very different environment, and we're seeing, like, at least considering I have the most viewership on like regular long form videos, I see the trends of the game throughout my content, and it's emotionally draining, I won't lie. Like seeing like going from the views we were getting in the open free-to-play era and then going to what we're getting now. I'm not complaining by any means. I'm still very happy making content regardless of the viewership. I'm just doing it because I like creative content and like expressing that. I mean, I came from a background of doing custom like Minecraft adventure maps. I'm sure you guys have seen me talk about it if you're long-term fans. So it's not like I'm doing this just because it's a job and I want to make money from it. It's obviously part of what my job entails, is making a career out of this and still being entertaining and everything. It's mentally draining though. Like being a daily video YouTuber, it's like I don't record every single day. Some days I am not feeling the best and I try to avoid being on camera because I never want to fake my opinions or feelings or anything like that. So I always try to be genuine on camera. And some days I'm just not feeling good. But I try to stay positive and just do my thing. And I don't know, I just enjoy the game, and I still think it is really just like a perfect game. Like I would say got lucky in some aspects, and then other things they crafted to perfection. And that's the hard thing about a perfect game. What do you do to continue, like move forward? And I talked to the developers and I said, at that point, like, you have a perfect game in front of you. What do? You let the people that enjoy your perfect game and creatively express themselves, whether that's through map making or game mode making or like mutators and all that stuff. Like, the more creative freedom that the players have, the player base has, the more longevity the game has. I think there's games like Mario Maker, which still have a huge fan base. Trackmania is probably the biggest comparison to Rocket League right now. Free to play game that has a huge viewership. Like, Virtual's killing it on the content side of Trackmania, and all the map makers that make ridiculously crazy looking maps in Trackmania, all through the map making tools within the game. I also want to shout out Across Patat, who has been working on custom like a creative mode in UE3, which is just an absolutely crazy project that he's even made it possible, and it's almost done. And the fact that he's made it work in UE3, it would not run on consoles, I will tell you that. It'll probably cause a lot of consoles to crash if you tried running it. But the fact that the proof of concept is there for some sort of creative mode and to be able to make dynamic maps like that, I think is really cool. And I think that if it does move to UE5 in the future and people can make maps and sort of share codes with their friends and stuff like that, we have a very bright future ahead of us for Rocket League. Like I said, it's still a game that is performing in the top 10 of most played games in the world, so like concurrently. So it's not a bad place by any means. I think you'll hear a lot of opinions on the creator side because of where content is and where viewership is in the game, and they'll have a different outlook on it. But I think the majority of people, like, casually do still really enjoy the game and want it to do well, and just, you know, pick it up here and there. Because for Rocket League, like, whether or not you play a lot or not, there's always gonna be other people that are playing a lot at one given time. So like, I think they're in a good spot. There's always the perception of they're just trying to make money, which, yeah, it's a company, it's a video game company, they're trying to make money. But live service games are a new thing. Like, they've only been around for about 20 years, I think, not even that. And to always expect new content to come out and new things to do, it is a difficult position for a company to be in. But I think that they've definitely had time to at least communicate where they're at with things. So I thought I'd just share that for a little bit and kind of rant. Like I said, on Community Spotlight in like a day or so, and I by no means am like trying to crap on the game, because I think it's it's in a good spot, and I'm excited for the future of like RLCS and everything, and there's a lot of cool stuff. I think for a lot of people it's just bittersweet, because we kind of expected this to be the announcement for UE5, and if it does happen in the future, I'm gonna let it happen and stop, you know, hyping up every single moment and hope that it is the next thing. Because I think for the last like two-ish years, every event we're like, is this the moment? And I think that for now, I'm just gonna enjoy doing my content and doing what I'm doing and try to involve you guys more in the process. Like I said, if you want to join the Discord and be part of the videos in the future, I'm also trying to do another Road to RLCS, or not Road to RLCS, Road to SSL, but in a different way, because they don't want us to do that anymore on the ranked leaderboards. So I'm hoping to do something where basically start in Bronze 1, if that even exists. That rank does not actually exist. Sort of do like a Bronze 1, 2, 3. Every episode is one of those ranks, and then Silver 1, 2, 3, etc. And we'll just do that a couple times. Go through the Silver ranks all the way up to SSL. And I don't know how I'm gonna organically do it, because I feel like players knowing that I'm in the lobby is gonna make them not play the way they normally would. And that's kind of the beauty of the Road to SSL series on the ranked leaderboard, when my name was just a mystery, is that people didn't really like get nervous to play against someone who's really good. Like, I played at the level that they were at, so no one really knew when I was like who I was. I mean, once I got an Epic account, like, my name kind of stayed the same, and I did get recognized a couple times, but it was definitely nice to know that like no one really suspected that I was like a high level player, because I would play to their level and sometimes lose the games anyway, because I'm just like trying to play around what they're doing and support them and sort of show how to play at that level and sort of get advantages where you can. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed the background content, the games that Danny put with this rant. Like I said, I brought all this equipment to talk about something very different, but I still am hopeful that in the future this game will grow and grow, because I think it deserves to be the #1 esport game in the world, because it really truly is one of a kind. There's a lot of shooter games that sort of share similarities, but this is truly one of a kind game, and it, I think, shares a special place in my heart, along with a lot of you like in the gaming space. So hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.